another car you've driven is the Panos
Mm-hmm.
GTLM. What
I think it's behind me. Yep.
one of the first times I saw one of those, I was just like, what is this? I don't understand. This looks unlike any other racing car I've conventionally come across.
Yeah, I think the one I raced was the GT car. I was going to drive the prototype, but didn't happen. The sort of Batmobile looking car.
Yeah, that one,
Still
yeah.
had some. It still had some of the similar styling cues. It was hot. I mean, now you have rules that you're not allowed inside the cockpit. There's a sensor. You're not allowed more than 10 degrees over ambient
Okay.
inside the car, and it's still hot because they generally get the blower to get right onto the. It's really low and the air all goes to it, so that it almost tricks it. Excuse me. The Panos, Le Mans in 2005, it was 75 Celsius inside the car, the whole race. The whole race. Middle of the night, you got in, it didn't matter, 75 Celsius. And I was 70 kilos at the time, and I lost 7 kilos during the race.
Wow.
So, yeah, 10% of my body weight, and I was ill. And it was after that year that they started looking into that, because I think the Aston GT1 car, the DB9, had the same problem. And it was just hell. I mean, I've never felt so ill. I looked terrible too. I remember seeing myself after it, and I was just like, it was like a skeleton.
7 kilos.
7
That is a
kilos.
lot.
Yeah,
When you
I
don't
was
weigh
ill.
like tons.
I didn't feel well though. The car was so hot, and I just couldn't hydrate in between stints properly. Even like the drinks bottle, it was insulated, the drinks tube, but you had to drink 2 or 3 times a lap, because it was one point where I didn't, and I pressed the button the next lap and it burnt my lip.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because if the whole car is 70 degrees, I don't want to touch something that's 70 degrees. That's really hot. No. So even like steering
even like
everything.
Everything. Like the resin of the seat. It was mental. It was absolutely mental.
Yeah. No thanks. How do you sit in a car for that period of time at that temperature? How do you focus?
It was lucky. We had a NASCAR invention at that point. It was like a cooler box. So we had a cool suit, but you couldn't really use that during the race because it would just melt and then get hot and cook you.
Okay.
They had basically cold water, iced water being pumped through your vest, but that wouldn't last. So we had on your helmet, you have an air tube that goes on, and it just takes the ambient temperature and drops it down. So that's what we had. But it was so hot that the rubber was so soft that it would come off 2 or 3 times a lap. And I remember every lap it would pop off, and then you come onto the Mulsanne and you're like sort of using my knee to brace the steering wheel, pulling gears, and between gears holding my helmet and trying to get it back on.
Wow.
Every lap. Yeah. And I actually got to the point where I was so hot and just unhappy that I managed to do the pit straight using at the Le Mans, you know how it curves around.
Yeah.
I managed to use my knee to steer around there. Not good.